Hey guys, so wanting to know what are the different data types in Python? Why are the types important? And how to use them in Python? Then this video is just made for you. Data types is the form in which you want to store your data. It defines the operation that can be done on your data. The first data type that we will look at is the none data type. So x is equal to none. Let's run this cell in Jupyter Notebook. You have to run using Control Enter. Now let us check what is the type of x. The type of x should be none type. The next is numerical values, some numerical data types. First one being integer. Integer is going to be storing non-decimal values. Means it will be storing like 1, 2, 3 or -1, -2, these types of number. So let's take y is equal to 125. What is this? This is a integer. Now let's consider what is the type of x to confirm. Type of x. Control Enter to run the cell. Sorry, I run x, it is y. Type of y, it is integer. So the short form of the data type integer is int. So what more can you store in integers? You can store your age equal to 20 years because it is taking a non-decimal values 20. Or you can even store price of BMW. It is equal to what? It is equal to $582,800. So you can't store you can't put comma inside it. You have to completely write the number. Let's check what is the price of print type of age. Print is a function to print something on the screen. So it is telling the type is integers. Similarly, you can check what is the type of price of BMW. So it's again an integer type. So in integer you store non-decimal values. Now let's go to the real number data type. Real number means storing decimal values. What is the decimal value? R is equal to 148.25. You can see a decimal over here. So what is the type of R? The type of R is float. Real number type is nothing but float type in Python. So what else can you store as real number? Your age. Suppose you're 20 years and 5 months old. So your age is again an float. So what is the type of your age? Let's see. Again, it's a float. The float takes values which are decimal values. Now the next type is complex number type. Complex number means a real number plus an imaginary number. So my C is a complex number. It will be a real number, say 3 plus an imaginary number, say 47J. You write J for imaginary number. What is the type of C? Let's check. It is complex. You can have anything. You can just show C is equal to 7J. You should have a you should have a imaginary part. That's compulsory to make it a complex number. Now what's the type of C? Let's check. Again, it's complex. So imaginary number is a must to form a complex. Next is Boolean type. What do you think is Boolean? Boolean is basically true and false. If I say T is equal to true, the first letter should be capital. Or maybe I say F is equal to false. These two are Boolean values. Let me just print the type of any one. So type of F. Let's run using Control Enter. It is Boolean, bool. That's the short form of the Boolean type. Now what else can we use for Boolean? You might be wondering why I have kept this under the integer or numerical values, because Python considers numbers also as true or false. What are those numbers? If your value is 0, suppose 0 and n is equal to none, these both values are going to take false. Let me just show you. So bool of 0. So you know that. What is the type of 0? Let's check what is the type of 0. The type of 0 is integer. But if I convert this into bool, that is Boolean, you have to use BOOL of 0. You will see it is false. So let's say bool of n. N you can see over here, n is none. Bool of n is taking the value false. So none and 0 take value false. So what about the rest numbers? The rest number, let me take num is equal to 14. And what is the boolean of num? It is true. So this was for real normal non-decimal values. What about for decimal values? So num2 equal to 14 point something like this, a decimal value. What's the bool of this? Let's check. It should be true because that's not 0, not none. Yeah, so true. So what is boolean? True and false. If you have numbers 0 and none are true and rest of the numbers are false. Next type, that's the new type, that is sequence. What is sequence? Sequence is groups of items together. You don't have a single element, you have more than one element. The first one is immutable. Immutable means you can't change the elements of that sequence directly. The first one is string. So what is string? String is a sequence of characters. That means you can store alphabets, numbers, symbols directly. Symbols, all those symbols on your keyboard. So let me just show you an example. If I say str1, that's just a name I'm giving, is equal to Mikash. Okay, and let me check what is the type of str1. I forgot to tell you, you have to write strings within quotes. So you can see those two double quotes that I have put. You can also use a single quote, that's your wish, but both the sides should be single quote. Again, you see that I run the command and I get the same answer. I can even use triple quotes. Where is the triple quotes? Okay. Same way over here, I can use triple quotes and I get the same output, you can see. So you have to put strings inside quotes. Strings can be having symbols also, as I told you. So let's have one string as symbol. String 2 equal to my age is 12. Let's check what is the type of str2, and it is strings. So what do you store inside strings? Mostly you store piece of text or piece of words. Basically those things that you don't want to do any kind of operations, any kind of maths, that comes under strings. Now let me tell you one more thing. So let's print our str1, printing str1. One thing that I want to tell you is that strings are immutable. We saw that you can't change if I want to change m to n, I can't directly change it. So it's immutable sequence. Next, the values are having order. So the first value, that is m, it is having the position 0. So that's how it works in Python. First position is 0, second is 1, and so on. So each of the values are having position. So the sequence, that is string, is having order. Next, I will show you a new thing. I told you store text and words for string. You can also have integer string. Let's say int of 1. I can put any name, by the way, but I have to put this inside string. Let's say I am storing my ID. My ID is 123654. But I am storing this inside double quotes, maybe single quotes or triple quotes, your choice. Let's check what is the type of int1. It's string. But what if I remove this double quotes? What would be the type? It's integer. So when you're storing numbers, I don't want to perform any kind of operation on my roll number or my ID. So I can store that as string. And what is the type? It's string. I can't perform any operation on this. This is called as an integer string. So you see what is string? Next is the tuple. What is tuple? This is another data type. This is another sequence. Collection of any data type. Like in strings, you can store only symbols, numbers, or alphabets together. Here you can have any data type. You can have integers, you can have strings, you can have all these different data types we will learn. You can have a collection of all of those. So let's take an example. Tuple 1 is equal to what? I will put the values as first one, I'll put my name. Name is Mikash. What is my age? My second value is my age. My age is 20. What is my next value? Am I a student? By the way, am I a student? Yeah, I am a student. So true. So you can see the different data types I'm storing together. I have first string, then I have an integer, then I have a boolean. All of those you can store together. Now basically tuples are used to store some similar kind of data types together. So you can see all of these are similar. It's about Mikash, it's about me, it's about me being the age of 20 and me being a student equal to true. So that's what a tuple is. You can have a single type of data type also stored. Maybe I'm storing my marks. Let's say my marks. My marks is equal to, in one subject I've got 50, in other I've got 47, in other I've got 12. So what is the type of marks? Let's check. It's tuple. Okay, so you can store same data type, your wish, or you can store multiple data types together. Now what is the use of tuple? Tuple is basically used to store something that is fixed. Why? Because it's immutable. I can't change any of the elements. So I have to store something that is going to be fixed throughout my program. So these values I can't change directly. If I want to change something, suppose I want to change from Mikash to Neha. So I have to make a new tuple. I can't change this tuple 1. I have to make a tuple 2. So they are immutable, and next thing, each element is having an order. So Mikash, this is the first element. So what is the order? Mikash will be having the order 0. The first position is 0 in Python. What is the second position? It is 20. So its index, its position is 1. So 0, 1 and true is given the position 3. So there's an order in tuples. So next we have a mutable sequence. What comes under mutable sequence? All those group of items together in which items can be changed directly, not like tuples, not like string. You could not change the item directly. The first one is list. List is going to store collection of different data types together. For example, let's say I'm storing data of an employee, employee 1. I have to store list inside square bracket. In tuples, how did we store data? Inside round brackets. Okay, let's say my first entry is going to be the name, that's Mikash. My second entry is going to be the age, that is 20. My third entry is the gender, so I am a female. So I'll store my gender as female. Next entry is going to be about am I a permanent employee? Yeah, I'm a permanent employee. So I'll get the value true. So you can see there are different data types. I have a string, I have an integer, I have a boolean. I can have many data types. I can have a dictionary also, I can have a sets also, I can have tuples also inside it. That's your wish. That makes a list. Now you might be wondering, what's the difference between a list and a tuple? The only difference here you have is they are mutable. If I want to change the element Mikash to suppose Neha, I can directly change that. You can see that in the next videos where we will talk in detail about list. I can have my employee 2, where I'm storing the names of all the employees. So it's not necessary that you have to have all the data types. I'm just storing the names of employees. So first one is Mikash, second one is Neha, third one is Hina. I can have only same data type also if I want. Let's check what is the type of, that's a very big name, I won't type. Employee 2. Let's check what is the type. Oh my god, what happened? I have not run this cell. Now let me run this cell again. Yeah, it's a list. Now you see what the list is? It is mutable sequence having different data types in it. Next comes set. Sets is a collection of different data types together. Same what we saw in the previous collections, but there is something different over here. You might be knowing sets from mathematics. The same meaning comes here. So let's write a set 1. Then we learn about it. You have to write a set in a curly bracket. So let's say, and obviously you should remember, I'm just taking 1, 2, 3. These are my 3 numbers, and one more number 5, and one more number again 2. So this is my set 1. What can I store inside a set? That's again a topic of discussion. I can store only mutable, immutable data types. What do I mean by immutable? My entries in the set can be either integers or integer and tuple, or a combination of integer, tuple and string. These are 3 immutable stuffs that you have seen. You can't have a list because list is not immutable. You can change the elements. So let's check that further. What is the type set? The type of set 1. Now what does this make a difference? So suppose I have my set 2, which is equal to, I'm having a string. I'm having a string as vanilla. Another thing that I'm having is the price of vanilla, 25. Okay, so I can have in a tuple different data types. They can be strings, tuples and integers or floats, any of the numbers, or boolean. These are all immutable ones. And let me check again the type of set 2. Again it is set. Those sets are mutable, you can change the element directly, but the elements in that have to be only the immutable types. Okay, now how does this become different from list and all the data types? Here you can't store a single element 1. You might be learning sets in math. Each element can come only once. Now in the set 1 you can see I have 1 and I have 2 twice. Let me print set 1 and show you how is set 1 stored internally. It's stored only as 1, 2, 3, 5. The duplicate element is not stored again, it's removed. So one of the use why people store their data as sets is to remove duplicate elements. One more use is that you want to perform union, you want to perform intersections. That's something that you do in mathematics with set. You can do that also. Next data type that comes is, one more thing I have to tell you before I go, sets don't have order. Okay, so let's say I have my set 1 that is equal to 1, 2, 5, 4, 6, 69 and 5. Okay, and I will say print set 1. Now it got print and these were the elements. But it's not like that 1 is given the position 0, 2 is given the position as the second position, that is 1. Right? The first element is 0 position, second is 1 position. Like this you don't have in sets. There's no position that is given, unlike all the other things. So there's no order in which the elements are there. You can not call 1 from the 0th position. That you could do in list, in tuples. But sets are no order, collection of data types that are only immutable data type, and you can change the elements of sets, and you can't have duplicate elements in set. Next is array data type. What is array now? In arrays I can store a collection of single data type. So I have 2 options. Let me write a comment. You write comment like a hash, and then I put this line, wherever I put hash, and whatever is written ahead of hash will be ignored by Python. It will not be run. That's called a comment. I can have an integer array, I can have a character array, or I can have a float, that is basically real number array. Okay, I'm just giving an information. Let's first write an integer array. Now you have to import a module. Module is something that is a pack that is having many functions that you can perform. So there's a module named array. I'll be importing that, and I'll be importing it as ARR. So I'm giving the short form. To array I'm giving a short form ARR. So I have to write this as import array as ARR. Whenever I'll use anything from this module, I will have to write array again. So instead I'm using a short form, I'll be using ARR. You can just say import array, but everywhere you'll have to using array when you're calling functions from it. So that's import array as ARR. Unless I import the array module, I can't make an array. That's very important. First you do that. Now let's make an array. Array 1. is equal to, now there's a different way. Let's first we are making an integer array, remember that. So I have to say array dot array. So what is this? This is the module which I have given the name ARR. From that module ARR I am taking dot, so I am from module ARR I am taking the function array or the method array, you can think of anyways. So when I'm picking up something from this module whose name I have given ARR, I have to put dot, and what am I picking? I am picking the function array which makes the array. Then I have to put parenthesis. Parenthesis means what is going to go inside, what type of an array do I want. So I want integer, so I have to write in quotes, I want integer. The short form for integer array is I. Second parameter that is going to come in the parenthesis is the list of all the elements that you want in your array. So because we have taken I, means we can have only integer elements. So I'll have 12, I have 45, I'll have I can't have points, sorry, 12, 14, 45. So this makes my array 1. Don't worry, we will take another array and I'll explain you again. So what is the type of array 1? Oh my god, what happened? Is there any mistake? I didn't run the first cell, I think so, yeah. So you can say the type is array dot array. That means from the array module, this type comes to be array. Now I'll just show you with another example with some different array. Let's make a float array. So array 2 is from array module whose name I've given ARR. Bring me the array function that will make an array. Now because I am having floats, I have to write D. D is used for floats, to make a float array, and I have to put my floats value in there. I can have 12.32, I can have 14, maybe I didn't want any decimal, so I'll put 0.00 and 47.2. So I have made my array. What's the type of this? Type of array 2. It's again array. So this was what array? This was a let me just print and show you also one array so you get an idea. Print array 2. So you can see it's printed, it's showing you what are the elements, what is the type of the elements, and what are the elements that you stored. Last array that we will see is character array, where you're storing alphabets. You can't store words, you can just store a single character, different single characters. Again the same thing, from the array module whose name I have given ARR, what should I bring? Okay, I'll just show you an example where I just remove ARR. How will I run? I have to say from, now I've not given any name to the array module. So I have to say array pura naam, full name of array dot, from this array module take the array function and make me an array of characters. So what you put for characters? For characters you have to put U, that's the Unicode. That's Unicode character. That's how your characters are stored inside Python. And I have to make a list of all the characters that I want. And remember, you cannot have words, you can have a single alphabet. That's what a character is. I want A, I want B, and I want C. These are my 3 characters that I want. Let me run this. Now let's get the type of print. Let's print, I know that's going to be obviously an array. Let's print the array. Now you'll be surprised to see how this is printed. It will print the whole thing together. It will make a string out of your single characters. It will make a string. Let's take, it's a character, right? Let's put some symbol inside it. Let's see if it works or not. See, because what are included in characters? You can have your symbols, you can have your star, your underscore, you can have your numbers, but obviously you should have your numbers inside a string, as a string inside. What happened? Something's traced back. What is the trace back? Array item must be Unicode character. Okay, or you can't have you can have only a single number maybe. Yeah, so you can have only a single number or a single symbol or a single alphabet making up your array of characters. But you remember, this coming as a join thing. Now you might be wondering, okay, so I could have stored these numbers, these decimals, or I could have stored these to
12, 14, 45 where I'm giving as list, I can store them as list only. Why do I need an array? The basic use of array is that arrays take a very less storage. They store your data in a very less storage. Suppose you want to store lots and lots of things and you don't have that much storage in your PC, in your system, then you can store, instead of storing as list, you store them as array. They will take less storage. And one more benefit that you have of arrays is having the ability to perform operations directly on your element. Definitely with list also you can perform, but you can't perform directly to each element. Here that's something that you get with arrays. Now we come to the last data type, the most famous, the most useful data type, and that is dictionary. This is not a sequence. We don't consider this as a sequence. One more thing I just forgot with arrays. Arrays are again mutable. You can change the element according to your will, and they have an order. This is the first element. So what is, when I have printed my array 3, my 1 is the first element. So what's the position? 0 position. Like again I say, in Python the first position is 0, then 1. What is the position of B? 1. What is the position of C? It is 2. Okay, so we have position. Now done with the position. Coming to mappings, that is dictionary. Now dictionaries is something different and a huge concept. It is again a collection of many data types, but what is the difference when I'm considering list, tuple, sets? What's the difference in dictionary? You don't have order. There's no order. Secondly, they have something in place of order, and that's what every value that you store, every data type, every value you store, it will be associated with something. It will be associated with a key. Instead of a position, it will be associated with a key. Let me show you an example. Let's take the employee one also, which we were storing as list. Again, let me remind you, dictionaries you have to put in curly brackets. Now that's same as sets, right? Sets also in curly bracket. But how you store the data inside makes it a set or a dictionary. Now let's see. So suppose, what am I storing? I was storing my name, my gender, my age, and my, what was I storing one more? Am I a permanent member or not of the company? But I can't store it like that, right? I can't store it as Mikash, and what I have, my age is 20. What is my gender? My gender is female. And am I permanent? No, I am not permanent. So let's say false. And if I print the type of employee 1, what am I getting? It's, what is the problem? Name employee is not defined. Employee 1. These are the small mistakes that you do. Print employee 1, and what is the type of employee 1? It's a set. Oh, it's giving me a set. So how do I make it different? How do I make it a dictionary and having something more feature than a list? This was we stored as a list. Did you remember this? Let's go back and see the list. I had stored this and same thing as list. Now what new benefits can I have when I'm storing as a dictionary? This each element I'll put. What is this? What is name? What is Mikash? Mikash is the name. So Mikash being associated with position 0, it's better than that. It's given the name. So what is Mikash? Mikash is not position 0. Mikash is name. Like that I can store everything. I can have age. And remember, so this is my key. Name is my key, which is given to Mikash. Between that I have to put these double dots that you call as colon. Then the next one, then comma. The next element is age. Now I am putting, the keys also have to be the data types in Python. So the key is age. So what is age? Age is a string. Then female. What is female? Female is a gender. Gender is associated with female. So the value gender, sorry, the key gender is having the value female. And permanent. So it's permanent. Am I permanent? No, false. So this makes your dictionary. Now you can see the type is a dictionary. It's the short form, DICT. So now you should know that it's not like that how you had before in all of the rest of the things. And one more thing is it's mutable. So if I want to change my name, I can directly change my name If I want to say I don't want the name to be Mikash, I want it to be Neha, so I can directly change that values. So dictionaries are mutable. Now it's not necessary that you have to have different data types, you can have single data type also. So employee, now I'm storing the names of my employee. So I can have my key as 1, that is first employee. So what I'm storing, now my key is taking the integer data type. So it is the name of the employee is Mikash, then the next element is the second member, so 2. So the key is 2, that is the second member is Neha, then the third member is, Anusha. Okay, I can have it capital also, that's not a problem. So this makes my another dictionary. Let me just show you what is the type of this. Type of employee, it's a dictionary. So your keys and values. So whenever I want to call the name of the first employee, I have to just say from employee give me 1. It will automatically give me Mikash, because this is not an ordered collection. I can't say give me the first element of employee, because it is stored as a key, it's not stored as in position with position. Now one more thing, your keys have to compulsory be immutable data type, and your values can be anything. It can be mutable data type or immutable. Let me just brush up again. What can your keys be? It can be either a tuple or a string or numbers or boolean, but your values can be anything. It can be lists, it can be some strings, it can be tuple, it can be dictionaries themselves. So that's something that's there. What is that there? Let me just write. Strings have to be, sorry, what am I writing? Your keys, that's storing your value, has to be in a form of immutable data type. Okay, and what can your values be? Your values can be anything. Values can be any data type. So that's the rule of dictionaries. And what's the use of dictionaries? They're providing more efficiency to you. Instead of knowing the position and all of that, you can have everything, more data about what your first employee is, what your second employee is, like this. Okay, so that was all about all the different data types in Python, starting from none to some numerical values to some sequence which are not mutable to sequence that are mutable, and then finally to a mapping, that is dictionaries. And we saw how are they used and why are they used. The next thing that I want to say is each of these types you need to know because they are very important. So we have each of these as a video.
The next video for you to watch is a complete tutorial on strings in Python.